Hello and welcome back to Rambling About Wrestling, the only show never seen 17 views. Today, it is time for the end of a career, as in just 5 hours, John Cena hangs it up for the final time, and today we're going to talk through the 4 matches on this card. They've added an extra couple than they usually do. Today, there's 4 matches on the card, but they're very high quality matches. Like, John Cena's final match probably isn't the one that I'm even looking forward to most. But I mean, where better to start off than John Cena versus Gunther? Now, there was a bit of speculation as to when it'd go on. And we are now confirmed that it will go on last. John Cena's done a lot of interviews this week, none of them good, none of them informative. The best interview this week's been the Chelsea Green Chris Van Vliet interview. I don't know how long ago that was recorded, but that's the only good interview that I've seen this week, because John Cena just repeatedly said, "Who cares?" And I care about his match tonight, but I don't care about his attitude surrounding this final year. It's been quite a downer of a last year. Not been the one that you want to hang it up on. If he would have just retired after the Firefly Funhouse match, that would have been the perfect send-off. I still think Bray Wyatt should have been allowed to trap him in the Firefly Funhouse forever, and his only appearances would be voicing this puppet. I still think that idea would have been better than having... I guess he needed a retirement run, but you didn't need to have a retirement run. In hindsight, given what we know the retirement run became, I don't think anyone's become better because of the retirement run. If you think about it, Dominic Mysterio was already a made man. He got his IC title reign just sort of has like a 2-week period where it was just not champion because of John Cena. He didn't really gain anything from having 15 people interfere to beat John Cena. I can't name anyone who's actually became better. I guess R-Truth still has a job because of him, but also he, might not have been... He hasn't really done anything in this last year. The Ron Killings storyline was probably the closest to something really good we got. Obviously, Travis Scott entered the picture. That was something. Not good, but it was something, I guess. Yeah. But one man might be made tonight as Gunther fights Jonathan. There's a lot of talk that Gunther might be the man who taps out, the man who never gives up for the first time ever, unless you talk about his 2 submission losses to Kurt Angle, or his last submission loss, which was to... I mean, I think they will run that, but I think there's an interesting story point here, that Gunther has publicly said he's going to tap John Cena out. So if John Cena's smart, he'd just use the hubris of Gunther to sort of know his game plan. He's going to lock in the sleeper hold, he's going to lock in the Boston Crab, manoeuvre that into an STF, and he might win. I've seen people say that Gunther might tap out to the STF if he has scouted the moves. I think that might be the stupidest thing they've ever done since Gunther tapping out to Jey Uso. But I mean, it kind of fits with his character that he'd become too cocky. But I do see, again, Gunther's a made man. We don't need to be doing this whole retirement tour. Although it's been nice to see him. I mean, I almost saw him when he was over in the UK. I've never seen him live in person, which is a shame, I don't think. But I saw him in a SmackDown taping a while back. Actually, that's a realisation I've just had. But yeah, It'll be a good match. It'll be full of tributes. It'll be hopefully something like the AJ Styles match, except Gunther doesn't do tributes to random Austrian indie wrestlers. I mean, it'd be nice if he did some WXW alumni's moves, but I don't feel he will be doing that. But we move on to the other matches on the card, and the tagline for the evening is "My time is up, your time is now," and that's why John Cena has asked for NXT wrestlers to get a shot fighting the main roster. First time since Survivor Series, when they had Raw v SmackDown v NXT, and NXT did quite well on that night. I doubt they'll do as well tonight. Sol Ruka, the former NXT North American champion, takes on Bayley, which should be a classic. Two really good wrestlers. I'd be surprised if they don't put on a good match. It's got a very high ceiling. I don't have much to say, except I feel like Zarya might accidentally cost Sol Ruka in some way, because Ruka is not fine as much as the people want them to be. I just don't feel confident that they will survive much longer. I feel like that might be a stand and deliver match though, so we might need to hang on till mid-February, which is another 2 months. They've been brewing for a while. Zarya speared Sol Ruka last week, I believe it was. There's no explanation for why Zarya would be running full speed to spear Sol Ruka, who got moved just about out of the way, and somebody else was speared instead. It wouldn't have made any sense, because she couldn't have been aiming for that person. Sol was standing in the way, and I believe it was Izzy Dane pulled her out the way. So I don't think Zaruka's fine, but a team that I do know is fine, Javon Evans and Leon Slater, friend of the channel Leon Slater, take on AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, AJ Lee of course. This one is kind of a crazy match. Of course, Javon last night defeated The Miz, which is, regardless of how you feel about The Miz and his technical wrestling capabilities, is a brilliant result. A former world champion has been defeated by Javon Evans. But yeah, Leon Slater was supposed to be challenging for the Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship at Uprising tomorrow, I want to say. I feel like it's tomorrow, yeah. And I was meant to be going to Uprising, but I'm not anymore, because I wanted better seats for AEW Dynamite in Manchester. But that's a separate thing. Of course, Jay Joshua was winning that match anyway. Come on, Jay. We'll be watching from home. But yeah, Leon Slater tonight, he has a chance to fight AJ Styles, which the X Division roots, the current head of the X Division, champion of the X Division, versus the former great of the X Division. It'll be brilliant. But they are running a tag match, which is nice enough. I would have really loved Leon Slater versus AJ Styles, but I understand WWE need to get an NXT wrestler in there as well to, not invest too much into Leon Slater in case he eventually says fuck the Fed and leaves. But saying that, WWE on their website, WWE.com, have advertised this as a world tag title match. However, it hasn't been mentioned on screen. So there's a small chance, like a 0.5, maybe 2% chance, that Javon Evans and Leon Slater become the World Tag Team Champions tonight. I would love to see them do it. If it is for the World Tag Titles, I will be begging for the upset. And if it's not, I'm also begging for the upset. I'm cheering them on. And finally, what I believe is the most anticipated match in the Jackie Beno household, which is just me in this room. I live in this room. I'm locked in this room 24/7. No, but the general consensus is the most anticipated matchup is any of the three. I haven't heard as much clamouring for Sol Ruka v Bailey, but I mean, it'll be very good. But the main event for me, my personal main event, Oba Femi, the NXT champion, taking on Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion. What a clash! Oba took the title back from Ricky Saints it wasn't called Battleground. What was it called? It was NXT Deadline. I remember all these things. I don't know why he lost it to Ricky Saints in the first place, but I love that they've hotshotted the belt right back to him, because I think Oba Femi has to win this in a squash match. Now, you're thinking, why? I think Drew's going to attack him backstage. I think Drew's going to attack Cody backstage. Cody could be like, no, I want to fight. One singular fall from grace. 1, 2, 3. Done. End of story. Although, I do think this will go in the opener, so I'm a bit disappointed at the fact that that won't happen. Although, if it was co-main event, I'd love it. I'd find it very funny. But I'm very excited for tonight, and I hope everybody else is, regardless of your feelings on WWE at the moment, regardless of the fact that SmackDown is generally considered quite a weak product. I haven't watched Raw in a while. NXT's still decent from week to week. But regardless of the politics and everything, John Cena's inspired everybody throughout his career. John Cena's one of the greatest of all time. And it's going to be an emotional night, regardless of if you've watched WWE or not. I don't really anymore. But I mean, you've got to for the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the never seen 17. Thank you, Cena. Goodbye.